Okay.
Yes, and we're live.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Good evening, everyone. Listening or joining in today. Sorry for we're starting a few minutes late today. Technical difficulties from the back end, but we've been able to get through it, and we're here again. Yeah. So we're not going to disappoint you when we say we're going to be here. We're going to be here. Yeah. So today we have a guest who's going to talk to us about a very special program, and we're going to learn a lot. So as usual, once you join, just in the comment section, let us know your name, where you're joining us from, so that we can get to know our audience better. And as as we usually do, we're going to have the speaker. She's going to talk, and then we're going to pull our questions in the chat. And then towards the end, we're going to do a Q&A, and then we're going to take the questions. And as much as possible, we're going to try to provide clarity on the Maria Curie Fellowship. So, with us today, we have uh, Esther. So, Esther, can you introduce yourself? Say hi to the audience.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Esther Okafor, and I'm a Marie Curie scholar residing in Malta. I hope that is enough.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. So, as time goes on, I think the audience will get to know you better. We also have our organizer in the house, Sejiro, who's always here with us. Sejiro, you
Hi,
want to say hi to
hi.
your fans?
Yeah. Okay. So right now I'm looking at the LinkedIn platform. There are a lot of people, as in a lot of people, and this is amazing. So I want to say hi to LinkedIn first before YouTube. So hi to LinkedIn people, hi to YouTube, and hi to Facebook. So as usual, my name is Ejiro, my Twitter Coco, and I'm a Commonwealth scholar and a PhD student at the University of Leeds, working on women and transport in sub-Saharan Africa. So over to the host, Puchi.
Yeah, and finally we have Fumi, who's helping us with the sign language interpretation.
Yeah.
So Fumi has always been available to volunteer with us to help us to reach out to as much people as possible to take away some form of barriers. So we're trying to be as inclusive as we can to
Oh
carry
yeah.
everyone along. Yeah, so the information that we are sharing is not
For me,
restricted.
can for me, you introduce yourself now. For me, uh, right? You can introduce yourself.
Yeah, Fumi,
Yeah.
you can unmute yourself and say hi.
Hello. Okay, I am Fumi Oguro. I'm a friend of the deaf, and I want my deaf friends to be part of this information. Thank you.
Thank you for me.
Yeah, thank you, Fumi. So yeah, Fumi has been doing wonderfully well with us. So for those who don't know, Fumi is also benefiting from the information that is being shared here, and she has decided to make it accessible to her deaf friends as well. So she's also applying for scholarships, and she also thinks that if you are having any kind of challenge, it shouldn't be a barrier. And that is why she has decided to volunteer to help to disseminate this information to a wider audience.
Thank you for
Yeah,
me.
so good thumbs up for Fumi. Yeah, so without much to do, we'll move straight into the business of the day. Remember, when you join, just put your name and where you're joining us from in the chat. Adrian, I don't know if we're having difficulty with our LinkedIn audience today. Sometimes we have issues, so I'm not seeing their comments, but I'm sure you can be seeing their comments from your
I
end.
can see about 8 people on LinkedIn, but they've not said anything yet. So let's wait and see.
Okay, so just to be sure, so
Mm,
just keep an eye out for our LinkedIn
yeah,
audience, just in
yeah.
case we miss them out, so that we can always get their feedback as well.
Please, LinkedIn, say hi to us, your name and where you're joining from. It's nice to know that we're not alone. So we know we're not alone, but just say hi, please. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, Esther, I
Okay.
would give the floor over to you. You can just do a brief introduction of the program. Once you go through whatever content you want to give, I would probably pose some questions because I myself don't know much about Maria Curie, so I'm also
Even me
curious
too, I
to
don't.
find out.
And it's a
So,
postdoc coming from
so
there.
your first questions might come from me,
Oh, and me too.
and then we also take questions from the audience as well.
Okay.
So, let me allow you to have the floor, and you're very
Okay.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much, to the host. Thank you so much for having me here today. Also, thank you, Ejiro, for inviting me to talk about my fellowship.
Welcome.
Um, just to do a brief introduction, because I noticed when I did my introduction, I didn't really say much. So, my name is Esther Okafor, and like I said, I'm a Marie Curie Fellow who is doing my PhD in Malta. And my the focus of my research is on new technology. So we are trying to look at new technologies that can be used for food processing and preservation, food safety in general. And the technology I am focusing on is on ultrasound technology. And we are trying to see, I know when you hear about ultrasound technology, you think mostly in the medical field and all of that. But now we are trying to see how we can use that ultrasound technology, tweaking some parameters to use them in the food industry to kill microorganisms in food and also to make our food more safer. You might ask why. The reason is because the conventional process of food processing increases is not sustainable in the long term when you talk about climate changes. So we are also trying to ensure sustainability in the food processing industry. So that's the bottom line why we are carrying out this research. And this brings me to the Marie Curie Fellowship. Marie Curie Fellowship. So the fellowship is named after I don't know if you know the research scientist Marie Klodowska Curie. She's one of the female scientists on radioactivity. So the fellowship is named after her. And this fellowship is a reference fellowship of the European Union. So the European Union is actually the sponsor of the Marie Curie Fellowship, and it's a brother to Erasmus Mundus Fellowship. I know many of you, if you are into master scholarship, might be aware of that already. So it follows very similar pattern of the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, just that this is for PhDs and postdoc. So for me, I am a PhD student, not a postdoc student. Not a postdoc. A postdoc is not a student, not a postdoc student person. So for the Marek, I don't have any slide prepared, so I'm just going to be talking. I told Ejiro before today because of some personal issues. So I will just say what I have about the Marie Curie Fellowship, and then after that, we can then ask any questions. So I will be banking on the questions to really go into more details. Like I said, for the Marie Curie Fellowship, usually it's for a PhD. It usually consists of a consortium of universities just like the Erasmus Mundus. So a consortium of universities, and this can be research institution, even industries can come together and then they have a project. And in this project, they employ PhD students to carry out this research. And with that, um, the 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 universities are usually not in a particular country. They can be in different European countries. So one of the eligibility criteria for the Marie Curie is that any university you're going to apply to, you must not have lived in that country in the last 12 months for 12 months in the last 3 years. You must not have lived in that country for 12 months in the last 3 years. Say, for example, you did your master's in the Netherlands for 2 years, and then the next year you're applying for a PhD. You cannot apply for a PhD in the Netherlands under the Marie Curie Fellowship due to the EU mobility rules. So you have to look for maybe a fellowship in Greece, Athens, somewhere, Greece, Spain, Germany, and all of that. So you have to put that into cognizance. Also, for the Marie Curie Fellowship, it's not like every other PhD that has a particular time where you apply, say every September. No. So you go, there is a website, maybe I'll share it during the question and answer, since I can't look for it now, where you can see a lot, where you can check Marie Curie projects. and projects that are advertising for PhD students. So these projects can come up anytime based on when it has been approved. So recently, some Marie Curie projects were approved. So maybe in the next month, you will start seeing advertisements for PhD students. And usually for this project, they usually take up to 10 to 15 PhD students per project. So, and it depends on the skill set they are also looking for. So in one project, there might be different skill sets. So you might not be eligible for all the positions in one project. So you have to, your skill set is very important when you are applying for Marie Curie. And they are going to specify that in the advertised positions. So they can tell you they want somebody that is good with R, good knowledge of R, good knowledge of maybe technical, maybe microbiology skill, or someone that is knowledgeable in transport systems, someone that is knowledgeable in this field. So those things are very critical when you are applying for Marie Curie project. You need to check yourself and see, are you, do you fit into these positions? And then if you see that you fit into this position, they are just likely to request a motivational statement and then a CV. This is, I'm trying to put this based on my experience. Some projects might ask for more things, I don't know. But for my when I applied, it was just a motivational statement and a CV that was requested, and just a one-page motivational statement. So you can add that, but it's very important that you try to highlight those eligibility criteria. For example, the fact if they want somebody that is good in R, highlight it in your motivational statement to show that you're a good fit for that project. Also, in your motivational statements, try to also tell them what you've done, what you are currently doing, and see, tell them how it fits into this current project. So they also try to give a brief description of the project. That should also give you an idea of what the research project is about. And then you try as much as possible to look into your skill sets, look into what you've done in the past, and see what you can contribute into this project to show that, to tell the person that you are good enough. After you apply with your motivational statement and your CV, usually there might be interviews. There is usually interviews. Yeah. For in my own case, we had like I applied to like two to three positions in the same project because I had skill set in those positions. I applied to those positions, and then I got to after submitting my application, I got call for interview for two of the position out of the three. The other one I was rejected. So in the interview, so to the interview stage now, you are, in my case, we are given a presentation. We are told to prepare like a mini research proposal, and they gave us like the background of the topic, and they wanted us to prepare like a mini research proposal and do a presentation. That would be like your interview. They just want to see your research skill, ask you questions, and then tell you, look at how you think as a scientist. If they tell you this is the research question we want to solve, you are going to bring up methodologies and ways you think that can be used to answer that research question. So, and in the interview, they are going to ask you, why do you think this method is better? Why do you think this method is better than this other method? And then they just want to see how you reason as a scientist. They are not looking for you answering it excellently or knowing, because it's a PhD. If you know all the answers, you're not supposed to you're not supposed to research about it. So um, with this knowledge, they select the best ranking candidate. In my case, the first interview I did, I didn't really do well, so I didn't go to the final stage. Then in the second school I chose, which is the University of Malta, I went through to another interview phase. So two interviews for me now. And then I was able to scale through to the final. And mind you, Marie Curie fellowship, they are usually very competitive. For each position, that's one position in a consortium, you might have up to 90 people applying. So
Whoa.
yes, it's very competitive. So it's not. I'm not saying it's not doable. So I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it to scare anyone. I'm just saying that when you decide to apply, put your best foot forward, because it's also a very enriching experience. What are the good side about the Marie Curie PhD? So I've been talking about the whole application thing. First of all, you get the opportunity to travel a lot. Yeah, you travel a lot,
I want to
and
hear about the facts. Yeah, the juicy
yeah,
facts.
you travel a lot because we have conferences, secondments, and network meetings. So the conferences, obviously, every PhD student goes for conferences. So they might not be in your country of residence, so you go out, and it's paid for from your PhD project. Then you go for secondment. Another thing I like about the Marie Curie project is that for me personally, for my project, we have the opportunity to have not just university related experiences, but also research institute and industry experience. So you're not just confined to the research in the industry in the university is different from real world application. So they want you to have an idea of all these things. So we do that through things called internships. So, but it's not called internship for the Marie Curie. It's called secondment. So, with this secondment, you go to maybe a place like a research institute or in the industry. So, in my case, for example, I just finished my secondment in Germany, where I did
Oh,
work with the Germany Research Food Institute. So, I went there. I also saw how things work in the research institute. I got to meet other people, get to collaborate with other researchers, and learn new equipment or even new techniques that might not be available in your resident university. So this also gives you that opportunity. And maybe the next one, I have two secondment. The next one is with Allah in Denmark. So you can see I have to travel a lot. So I would also
I'm
be going for
jealous.
second. I would also be going for secondment there. And with the Marie Curie also, apart from the secondment, another thing I like is the salary. The salary is good. Yes, you don't have to worry
I that's
about.
you're paid
about
to go to school.
you said
Sorry. You're paid to go to school.
yes, you are paid, and you are
To go
you
to school.
another thing. Yes, and you are given a work visa. It's not a student visa. So part of the time you spend doing your PhD in Europe, for example, counts towards your time for permanent residence. So it's not like it doesn't count. So you are given a work visa. Your working condition is based on the work employment law in that country where you are staying in. So it's not you're not just a student. You are paid properly, and then you are also paid. So the current salary rate is I think 3,200 or 3,600 euros uh, per month. But one thing is that every country in the European Union have their standard of living. So somebody in Netherlands has a higher standard of living compared to someone in Malta. So there's something they do called country correlated coefficients. So they try to put it in such a way that at the end of the day, when you remove your tax and every other thing, everybody is coming back to the same figure. And then you are also given a mobility allowance. This is 7,200 euros per year. Then you are paid family allowance if you are married, which is around 600 euro per month. This is apart from the 3,200, like I said. So, so you don't, and part of the contract is that you cannot do any other job, like a side job or a part time job when you're doing, because you are properly paid. The only jobs you can do are jobs that are related to your research or things that would improve you as a researcher. You also have the opportunity to go for training and conferences, which are also paid for. Your secondments, they are also paid for. So these are the perks of the Marie Curie fellowship. And I don't know. I've said a lot, but I don't know if I have touched a lot of things you would want me to touch. So please, I would be needing questions because I didn't prepare slides. So I would need a lot of questions so that I can further give more information if that are relevant.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you. I think, like you rightly said, you've said a lot, and from my own perspective, I've begun to get a picture
you do a
how
page.
how the fellowship works, and
Yeah.
it sounds like a very good opportunity to be quite fair. To be quite
It's not
fair,
sounding. It is. It doesn't sound. It is a good opportunity.
yeah. So I can. I don't think we have any questions in the chat yet, but I do have some areas that I wanted maybe you to talk more on. So
Okay.
maybe we'll go through those first, and then take questions from the chat. And probably maybe some of my questions might also coincide with some questions that some other people may also have.
Have.
Yeah. So I think the first question had was when you talked about the consortium. Yeah. So can you give more detail about how that works exactly, or the structure of that?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
people are used to applying for courses at universities, or getting a supervisor and then creating a research proposal and then moving on from there. But this one, because when you talked about it being on a work contract towards the end, then it began to make sense when you talked about the consulting, because it now looks like a job kind of proposal structure. So it's more of like a job role, and then you're applying for a job role. If my understanding is correct, something close to that structure. So I just want you to elaborate more on the how the consortiums actually work.
So the way it works, the European Union says this is time to apply for a project. Maybe lecturers from different university come together, write a project proposal, submit it to the European Union, get grants and funding. And then these lecturers, all of them, all their universities, or it's not just universities, also industries, even FA. There is one project we had, not my own consortium, that FAO is part of the consortium. Even industries, Unilever, for example, they are usually part of some of this consortium, especially for food related researches. So they come together, and then all those universities, research organization, industry, all form a consortium. That's what a consortium, like a group. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
all form a consortium. So in that consortium, students are then they now have like how do I put it? Each project has a name. My project name is called Transit, for example. So that Transit now then puts in a call for PhD students and say we are looking for 10 PhD students, because sometimes you for each of these universities you might have one or two PhD students working. So that's why you have like 10, because also they try to also make the project very interdisciplinary. So you're
Okay.
not just looking at food. In my project, for example, there are people looking at genetics, molecular biology. There are people looking at food engineering. There are also people looking at mathematical models that can be used in food. So it's more very, they are usually very interdisciplinary projects. So that's why they have a lot of PhD students per consortium. So like 10 PhD students, and then they put out this call for the students, and then they get the students. And like I said, like a work contract, when I talked about work contract, usually most PhDs in Europe are usually work, like job. They see it as employment, unlike UK and the US, where you are still on student visa. But most PhDs in Europe, you are usually under work contract, except if you're also, this also depends on who is sponsoring the PhD project. Where is the funds coming from? I hope I answered your question.
Yes, 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 yes.
Ah,
Just a follow up. Just a follow up. I say Ejiro looks like she's eager to say ask something, but let
no.
me
Okay. All right, then that's fine.
just a follow up. I can see some questions have started coming into the chat. So just to be clear, so if my understanding is correct, so different groups come together, form a consortium, and develop a project and then put out a request for applicants.
Yeah, they
And
get they first of all write a project proposal and get the fund first from the
yeah,
European Union.
yeah,
Then they call it's now these professors are not going to do the research themselves, so they need the PhD student. So they put out an application for a call for an advertisement for PhD students. And then
yeah.
they just in the PhD, what's it called? The advertisement, they put in the criteria they are looking for. You are looking for each of the positions now. You are looking for someone good in this field. You are looking for someone good in with this skill set. And then you apply. And then they put the email address where you can apply.
Okay. So, uh, so when you get the advertisement will state the position, the requirements. It will also state, I'm guessing it will also state the institution that you'll be attached to and the country or country of your destination.
Yes.
So you would know
Yes.
the university and the country that you're going to.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
obviously, when you have this kind of consortium, it means different people from different places. So if you
Yes.
apply for this position, obviously you'll be domiciled there. You apply for that position,
Yes.
domiciled somewhere else.
That is why I'm domiciled in Malta, for example. There are people also in my consortium that are domiciled in the UK. There are people from my consortium that are domiciled in Portugal, people from my consortium domiciled in Germany and Netherlands. So that's why we also have network meetings. Like I said we have network meetings. So we in network meetings, we all come together and you meet all these people. So it's not like you're just working in a silo on your own. You meet all these people and you get to communicate. And because sometimes your research work would also, you also have to work together with these people. Maybe some part of your research might overlap. So you have to work together with these people. That's another reason why I like the Marie Curie Fellowship also.
Okay, okay. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting point. I think we have a question from Dennis on the screen.
Wait, I have it. I have I have one question. So mine is just quite simple. But before I do that, I just want us to acknowledge we have some Commonwealth scholars here. So I just want to say hi to them. So hi to Queen. Queen is a Commonwealth scholar. She's also a mentor. Hi to Michael. Michael is a Commonwealth scholar. So let me say hi to my people. So they are good. So just going back to the requirement, I know you said it's stated there, but just for people that are actually new to this, can you just tell us some general requirement that you think is not that common for other scholarship?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
I think the common requirement that is not common for other scholarship would be the mobility rule. The EU mobility rule. Like I said, I did my masters in the Netherlands, right? And I told you, and I've also mentioned here that they're part of people, the PhD student in my consortium are in the Netherlands, are domiciled in Netherlands. I could not apply to the Netherlands because I already stayed in the Netherlands for more than 12 months in the last 3 years.
Okay.
So I could not apply to the Netherlands. So I had to apply to Germany and then Malta. So that's the one rule I know that is different. Then the other rule is the skill set. So each depending on each part of the project the professors want, the skill set may also differ. If you are, for example, if the part of that project will require a lot of building models, they might want you to have certain skill sets in modeling. If it's about molecular biology, they might want you to have certain skill sets in molecular biology. If it's about bioinformatics, so depending on that, then the other general one are communication skills, which every PhD student and good writing skills and all of that. Every PhD student should, aspiring PhD student should have.
Okay. Just off of that, is a master's degree also a requirement?
Yes, a must.
So there's no direct PhD from BSc.
No, it's
Oh
Europe.
no. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I thought of that one. I just wanted to make that clear. Yeah.
Yeah,
So and but the master's degree does not have to be European accredited institution. It can be from anywhere.
yeah. It can be from anywhere. There is no. It's not a must that it must be from European accredited institution.
Okay. Okay.
I have a follow-up question, but I think I'll just wait. Let's attend to the one in the chat first.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dennis is asking whether these fellowships are also for those in social and political sciences.
Yeah, depending on the project, there are fellowships in all this in any field, but usually, STEM field will have more funding, or there will be more calls for STEM related field. But the Marie Curie fellowship is dependent on, and it's not based on the field of study. So it depends if a professor or a group of consortium, they are able to get funding for their research idea. So if they're able to get the funding, fine.
Okay.
And
So
you mentioned that some of these projects are multi interdisciplinary, so possibly
Yes. So if there may be things related to like food policy, food system that requires, they might look for somebody. So there might be somebody that is, how is it called? There might be maybe one part of the project might be dedicated to policy. So somebody from this part of with this skill set maybe might be needed.
okay.
I think that's what I wanted to also ask, because I know that sometimes when you're researching some kind of innovative projects, especially if it's from industry, there might also be an aspect that's also looking at behavioral reaction of people and how to adapt their lifestyles and stuff like that. And most of those things fall under social sciences.
Yeah.
So,
For my Sorry to
oh, go
interrupt.
ahead, go ahead.
In my project, so there is one aspect of the project that is on consumer behavior. So somebody on consumer behavior is with expertise on consumer behavior. We take that. Somebody like me can never. I can apply, but my skill set is not good for that particular role. So I'm sure I would not be taken.
Okay, okay. Moving over to Queen's question. Like Gedro said, Queen is a Commonwealth scholar. Queen is currently doing her masters.
Yeah,
So, so I think so. I think she's looking to the future now, and also looking for answers. So that is good to know that people are. If so, I'm just saying it so that the audience can know that even people that are currently studying are also looking at the next opportunity, and it's
that's it.
never too early to look for the next opportunity.
It's not.
Yeah. So I think we'll take Queen's question. What does the clause mean, mobility? The candidate must not have resided or carried out their main activity in the UK for more than 12 months in the 3 years immediately prior to their recruitment.
Good. And like I said, this is the mobility role. And the essence of the mobility role is that people move around. That's part of the criteria for a Marie Curie. People move around and get to explore. So if you can put the question back so that I can explain, I'll break it down. Yeah. It's off again. So it says that you must not have resided in the UK prior to 12 months, carry out so you study in the UK is a main activity. You live in the UK is a main activity. You are from the UK and you have lived all your life in the UK is a main activity. So let me use my case to explain. So I did my masters in the Netherlands between 2019 and 2021. I got my PhD 2021, like August 2021. I got the PhD August 2021. I graduated my masters August 2021. I started my master's 2019 to 2021. So now using that, it says that my main activity in the Netherlands was to study, and I must not have stayed there more than 12 months. So 2019 to 2021 is more than 12 months in the last 3 years, period to my recruitment. So last 3 years period to my recruitment. My recruitment is August 2021 for the PhD. So I must not have stayed in the Netherlands between 2018 to 2021 for more than 12 months. If I have done that, I am not eligible to apply for a PhD position in the Netherlands. I can apply to another country in the same consortium, but not Netherlands. I don't know if my explanation is clear.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, if you've been in the Netherlands for more than 12 months in the past 3 years and you're applying today, then you cannot apply for positions in the Netherlands, but you can apply for positions everywhere else.
Yes.
Is there a limit on, uh, let's say, if you're from the EU, from a country in the EU, does that play a role?
Like if you are from maybe Netherlands and you want to apply to a school in the Netherlands
Yes.
and you've lived all your life in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
I
even if
think
you've not lived all your life in the Netherlands, but
if
if
you've
you're a
not
citizen of the Netherlands, does it make any difference?
it doesn't mean so far you've not lived in the Netherlands for the
Okay.
last 3 years, so you can still come back to your country. It's fine. So if I'm applying for a postdoc, for instance, a Marie Curie postdoc, I cannot apply to a postdoctoral fellowship in Malta
Because you're in Malta already.
because I've lived in Malta for the last 3 years. Unless I wait for 3 years to expire and then I apply for the postdoc, I can now apply to Malta. Do you get my point now?
Okay. Okay.
So before you take the next question, so I'm actually seeing 18 people on LinkedIn and nobody's saying hi. Please, let's see who will be the first person to say hi to us from LinkedIn. Just tell us your name or possibly where you're joining in from. Let's say you have 18 people and it's hi to LinkedIn. Hi, everyone. Okay, please go on.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I think the audience just needs to know that we want to know that you're there with us and that you're following the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think I see two more questions. So the next question is from Ali. Is acceptance letter mandatory for the scholarship?
What do they mean by acceptance letter?
Yeah,
Okay,
good
so
question.
I'm guessing acceptance letter would be, when initially when I said that most people are used to applying to a school, getting an admission, or applying to a program, I'm guessing that's what acceptance letter means in this part of the question. But
Okay, like
if that's
admission.
not, yeah, but if that's not what you mean, Ali, you can put a follow
Yeah,
up in the
I think we
chat
should
if that's
just
not
Ali.
exactly what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, perfect. That's great.
Okay. Okay. So in my case, in our case, once each
Yeah, we have a winner. Sorry. Okay.
each position have people that are attached to it from that university. So, for example, the lecturer of that university or the professor from that university. So once you get the Marie Curie position, there's no need for acceptance letter. It's automatic admission too.
Oh,
Okay.
So you don't apply separately for scholarship, apply separately for admission. Although there might be like conditions, this is university based or this is university relevant. When you get the position, they might tell you, oh, you have to enroll. For you to enroll, you have to do all this necessary thing like a proposal or something. But it's not required. If you are able to get the Marie Curie fellowship, you are automatically admitted. You just need to meet the requirement of the university. So some university will ask you for say IELTS. So you just submit your IELTS document. It's not like that. You have to have a separate process for admission. So maybe you can get the Marie Curie scholarship and not get the admission. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so you're basically formalizing your admission after you've gone through the Marie Curie process.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
just to formalize it.
okay. So,
that's
Bakir,
good to know.
before you take the next question, I think we have our first audience on LinkedIn saying hi. Hi, Benedicta. Thank you for saying hi to us. Thank you so much. And I feel okay. So, LinkedIn people, please say hi to us. We want to know where you're joining from. I can see a lot of people on LinkedIn, which is amazing. So, it's good to know where you're joining from. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So just to follow up on the last point. So if the university asks for a requirement that you don't have, has there been a situation like that?
You don't have like maybe
Say the I
IELTS.
say the IELTS, for
And
example.
for me, I didn't have it when I started. I also wanted to contest it. Like, why should I submit IELTS and all of that? But they say, it's a requirement and all of that. So I told them, I don't have it, but you will give me time to write it. So I was allowed.
Oh, you can negotiate.
Yes, so I told them I don't have it at that point, but I can write it. So all I have to do was just the university told me, okay, your offer will be conditional on you getting this
Oh,
score in IELTS. So I just told them, okay, I'll write it so time, and then I wrote it and I made sure I got the score that was requested for and just submitted.
Okay. What does the timeline look like from application to award to resumption?
Okay, for me it was very fast. I applied for my position in June. I started the interview. The interview was slated like 1 or 2 weeks after. Then immediately 2 days after the interview, I knew the outcome for my first interview. I was rejected. So that then the second interview, I moved to the next one, the next interview phase about a week after. Then I got the results the next day. So I knew that I already got the position. So it's within a month, 2 months.
Oh, so within a month, 2 months, everything was fine.
Yes, I knew.
Application
Yeah,
finalized, and then
yes.
result. When did you now resume?
So
The
I
next
nego-
month.
So because I just finished my master's, I wanted to rest also. So I negotiated my starting date. So I started in October, although some of my colleagues started in September. So for me, I wanted to go to Nigeria. And then so I told them I can't start in September. So I negotiated in October. Some of my colleagues had visa issue. They started in November because we had PhD students. Some were from China, some from Portugal. So they have to apply for visa from their country. So all this thing also is also dependent on that. In my case, I was already in the EU. So there was no need for me to apply for visa to move to the country. Just move there and then start the residence process. So I just negotiated to start there. So some people start depend on the situation when you want to start.
Okay. Um, the announcement for the scholarship, is it like around June every year, or does it vary?
It varies. It depends on when the project is approved. So for example, my project, they got the funding in March 2021. They have to do announcements, advertisements, get PhD students, get interviews before we start. So we started in October, November. So you see, so it depends on when they get the project and when they think is the consortium decide, oh, we have time to interview candidate and all of that. So it can vary. So it's not usually like that's why I said it's not like other scholarship where you say every September there will be like a catalog of project and then you just gonna apply.
Yeah, just to ask during the start of the conversation, you mentioned you're going to share a link.
Yes, so I will share a link. Let me check on my computer. So it's on the European Union website for my Curie project. So you can
Yeah,
see
'cause-
approved my Curie project that are calling for applicants. So you can check the project, see if you fit into the skill set, and then apply.
yeah, because I wanted to know if there's a place people can get information so they can know. So if you can share that on the chat, I'll display on the screen. That'll be very useful, please.
Yes, let me look for it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So while she's looking for it, I also want to encourage other people to also drop their questions in the chat. I think we have one more question from Michael, which will take. Uh, did we just lose our speaker?
Yeah, I think she's gonna come back. I think she wants to sort it out. She's gonna come
Okay,
back.
yeah. So she's going to get the link for us, which is good. So before we, when she gets back, we'll take the last question. But if you still have questions, you can still pop them in the chat. At least today we have time to engage with the questions properly, and we are not rushing.
Okay,
So
so okay,
I'm
please.
back. Sorry.
Fine.
yeah,
Sorry. My
You thought you left us.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
so
yeah.
we found
Welcome,
you.
welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
want to lose you. You're giving out treasured information here, so we can't afford to lose you at this moment.
no problem.
Uh-huh. So yeah, we were just saying that we have one more question, and we're just encouraging people to send in more questions.
Okay.
I think Edro, you said you had a follow-up question at some point. So
Yeah, yeah, but I want to say something else. While you search for it, I think in next month we are having we have two sections lined. We're still confirming all that, but we have one on Commonwealth scholarship. So those people that want to do Commonwealth scholarship, masters and PhD, we have one in March coming up. Then also we have associate professor. I think is it assistant professor or associate professor from US, and if you're student coming to speak about schooling in the US and scholarships,
Oh,
still March. So I would advise, please, if you want to stay, if you want to know what's happening, either subscribe or stay updated on the group chat so you won't miss all this important information. So I think she has shared the link. So yeah, I will display it so you can go on with the other questions. I will display it on the chat now.
okay, okay.
okay.
So we have a question from Michael that says, does the scholarship extend to pure engineering aside from chemistry and the sciences? I'm
Any
asking
field,
because I see a lot of pure science opportunities under the fellowship.
and any field is dependent on what project are funded at that time. So if you are lucky, you can see something that. So I was lucky that when I was finishing my master's, I saw that project, and it was something that fit into what I wanted to do, and I applied.
Okay, so just this depends on what is available. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
it's basically you're basically telling future applicants just keep checking.
exactly. So just keep checking. So if you see something that, and don't just stop at the name. So you can say the name of the project is this. Most of the projects are interdisciplinary. So each PhD student is working on certain aspect. Like I said, there's somebody working on consumer behavior in my project. There's somebody, another project where my supervisor is also supervising. Somebody's working on AI related things in the food industry. So you will see food, but you don't know that um, one PhD student might be working on machine learning, but related to the food industry. So you look at each of the positions that are available, and then you you can see.
Sure, I just have a question. Just to be sure, what I posted, what I'm displaying, am I correct? Is it for approved project or more information or what? What exactly
No,
is
this
it?
one is for more information. I will still put the approved project. I'm trying to look for the specific this thing. You can still see it from these, but you have to search all the tab. So I want to look
Options.
for the particular so that I just copy and paste it. So it's just
Oh,
to know more about it.
okay,
Okay.
So
great.
the next link I'm sending is for, oh sorry, for my project. So each project have a website. I- So the project I'm working on, our consortium, Transit. So you can see how the consortium website look like and the project we are working on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think when Ejiro gets back, she would help us to display that link. But
Okay.
I think we
Sorry,
have
I'm
one
going to
more question
display
that
it.
just
Yeah, I'll display the link now. Here.
yeah. So we have one more question that just came in from LinkedIn. So Ejiro, you'll be happy to know your LinkedIn audience is engaging.
Yeah. Okay, you can go ahead and read it. That's fine.
Yeah. So we have a question from Aloha. Do you need to find a supervisor before applying? Do you need to
No,
have the research proposal for application?
no to both question. So the research proposal has already been done. So then you know what the project is about even before you apply. So that's where you also assess your own suitability for that project.
Okay. So essentially, the project has been the consortium have written the proposal
Yes,
and they've already identified the kind
yes,
of
what,
skill sets they are looking for. So you're basically just looking at it like a if I'm to say like a job application. They've advertised the role, they've advertised like what your responsibilities and the quality of candidates they are looking for, something like that.
yes,
Then you just go in and apply.
yes.
And then probably during the interview stages when you actually get to meet the supervisor, if or something like that.
Yeah, so you get to meet with the supervisor. Now they now start asking you questions based on your suitability and based on your skill set.
Yeah, so you don't need to look for supervisor before you get to that stage. It's at that stage you would have see because I'm guessing they already have a supervisor that's attached to the project because it was part of
Yes,
the people that
yes.
proposed.
The professors from each of the university are like your supervisor. So depending on where your domicile, so that's the supervisor you work with.
So is that display correct? Link to Esther Okafor project?
Yeah. Wait, sorry. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So if you want to know more about your project for future reference, you can just
Yeah.
put.
So that's how a typical consult. So just to buttress what I've been saying, you can see the research organization and university that are involved in this project. So just to further give more information about how the Marie Curie Fellowship looks like.
Yeah, so this display on the chart, so you can actually just click or copy it and get to explore the site yourself. So I actually made it accessible by posting them on the chart, not displaying them on the banner. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you. I think another
Question from Jonathan.
question, yeah, just came in from Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, can you highlight the benefits of Marie Curie scholarship? Something in the line of stipends paid, visa support, accommodation paid, job retention, flight ticket support, leave.
Serious?
It's 6 months.
Okay,
Okay,
this is a
This
lot.
is,
I'll
this is a
I'll
very
give
specific question.
uh,
I'm guessing maybe Jonathan wasn't here when you were giving the breakdown of the stipend, but you can see that there's a lot of info, so you can go ahead. Esther.
I'll go ahead. Like I said, for the Marie Curie project, you are given like a work visa. So it's not like a student visa. So you are subjected to the employment laws of that country. So if that country gives, say, 28 working days for vacation, you're also entitled to that as a PhD student. I mentioned the stipends. I said the stipend is around 3,200 as I when I did mine, but I think it has been increased to 3,600. But I need you to note that for every European country or every country, there is a country correlated coefficient that is used to calculate your living allowance. So it means that this is just to ensure that people living in paying people that staying in countries with high standard of living are also able to get more money compared to people staying in countries with low standard of living. So that at the end, when you remove the tax and pension and all of that, you are you we all come down to the same amount. So the pension, so for the visa support, yes, the university where you are going to would also provide visa support through the HR. Your accommodation, you pay for your accommodation from the stipend, the living allowance you are provided. You are also given mobility allowance, which is 7,200 euro per year. Some university will prorate it per month and add it to your living allowance per month. Then if you have a family, they also pay you family allowance, which is 500 euro per month, 500 no 600 euro per month. So there is living allowance, there is mobility allowance, there is family allowance. If you are single, no family allowance. If you're married, there is family allowance.
We have to get married.
So if you are going for conferences, okay, I need to see the question so that I can take it one by one. I
Yeah.
stopped at, yeah. Job retention, that is dependent on you. I don't think there's any scholarship that will give you a job after that. So if you are able to get a postdoc with your supervisor, fine. If you get something in the country where you are living in, fine. Flight ticket support. There is no flight ticket support. That is what the mobility allowance is meant for. You get? Then leave. The leave, like I said, you are subjected to the employment rules of that country. So you are paid your holidays is based on the employment law of that country. So you might be in the UK, maybe UK have just 20 days for annual leave and Germany has 28 days. So it depends on the country where you're staying. 13 months is also dependent on the country where you're staying in. So in the country I'm staying in and there's 13 months, you are paid 13 for 13 months. So if you're supposed to earn say 20,000 euro per year, they divide it by 13 and then pay you that. So that's how you get your 13 months. But it's not necessary. So if the country does not have the 13 months thing, there's no need for it. But most European countries have, so they pay you 13 months. I hope I
Okay.
answered the question. So your visa support also for your dependents is also so you can tell them that you have dependents. You can bring your spouse and your children. That's fine. And but you will be also subjected to the visa regulation of that country. So say for instance you have 4 children and the your salary is not enough to cater based on the visa regulation of that country, you might need to add more money to it. That is not, I don't think that is their responsibility, but I have not encountered such scenario. So you might have to have add more money to your proof of fund just to bring your other family member. But if it's within what the country needs, then you can bring your spouse.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
permit me to say this because I'm seeing that some questions are being repeated, and we have to be considerate of our speaker. So if we see any question that's repeated, you can just quickly, briefly say it, and we can ask them to go back and watch the recording. So I
Okay.
because I make you conscious. Yeah, you can't keep repeating yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also we are at the hour mark now, so we'll probably be running through a little bit faster just to make sure that we take everything out before our time is up. So yeah, so we have one more question here, which says, which area of specialization does the fellowship cover? Does it require one to have conducted research before? What is the age limit? So this is, I think this is three questions together. So
You don't need to have conducted research before you a master student. I don't know. Most master students, you've done your thesis before, so that's a research experience. So that's what you can add to it. It doesn't necessarily mean you have worked as a research assistant. Then he said age limit. There is no age limit, and there is no special. The specialization or the skill set is seen in the advertised position.
okay, okay. So I think that covers that. I think for area of specialization, we've talked about that before. So probably we've answered questions along those lines, that it depends on the project itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have another question from Benedicta. Does the family of students come into the equation? Visa allowances. I think
I already I
yeah,
already
it's part of
answered.
what you just it's part of what you just said.
So
Uh
you are allowed to bring your spouse, dependent on the regulation of the country where you are staying in. So everything is subjected to the regulation of the country where you are staying in. If you are staying in a country that requires that you cannot bring your spouse until you have spent 1 year in that country, that is your luck. Stay in another country where somebody can bring their spouse immediately they are coming, that's their luck. So it's everything is subjected to the visa regulation of the country where you are going to. So when you are applying, also think of all these things. So when you choose a particular country, also think of that. Do you understand? So if you are going to say a country like Malta will say you can come with your spouse after 1 year of staying. So why should you choose that country when you can choose UK, where you can bring your spouse immediately if there is a position in the UK and if you have relevant skill set for the position in the UK?
okay. So just I think this is just a comment to clarify. You have your stipend, which is for you as a single person. Then if you're married, you have family allowance. But the
Yes,
family allowance does not depend on children. It's just if you're married.
if you're married, yes.
Yeah. So that's so whether you have one, five, seven
Yes, but
kids
it's a
doesn't.
fixed amount.
Yeah.
So it's also fixed. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just so people know, and also take those things into consideration when they're applying. Yeah. So I think that's most of the questions we have on the chat.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So I know Esther, you've talked a lot, so feel free to take a cup of water if you need to. I know we've been engaging you and you've been talking a lot, so you can take a
No,
breath, take a cup of water. It's all right
no, no
if you need to.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ejiro, you had a follow-up question at some point. I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
bring that
yeah.
now
I
because we
think the
are.
questions have been addressed. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, while we wait for more questions before we call it tonight, I just want to say we'll be here same time tomorrow. So just for general Q&A section, I don't know if Esther will be here. If she's here, that'd be amazing. But if she's not, it's fine. It's just
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is just for general questions on any scholarship. So what we do is that we use Saturday for a specific topic, then we use Sunday for any general questions you get for anything. So if you have any questions or anything, you can come here tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. GMT. And if Esther is here, amazing. If she's not, we'll try to answer what we can answer. We also have other mentors here to help. So, and like I said, in March, we have Commonwealth Scholarship section coming up. We also have um, a professor and for schooling and getting scholarship in US. So we have a good session lined up. So please stay tuned, subscribe, or possibly stay updated. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll stop there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just to answer that. Sorry. So Jonathan, this is automatically recorded. So after, you can just always come back to YouTube and just click on it, you watch it. So if you go to the channel, there are other videos there. So once we record live, it's always there. So the same link, you can always go back to the video and also navigate the channel for other videos too that might be of interest to you. So Bichi, you can go on now.
Yeah. I think I also wanted to say that, but
Oh,
you've already
perfect.
said it. Yeah, so it's YouTube. So that's one of the, I think, advantages of this kind of sessions. Immediately you're streaming, it is automatically being uploaded on YouTube. So once we end the session today, you can always go back to the YouTube channel and the video will always be there. You can always rewind, go back, come back, listen again, and come back at different points to see if you missed anything. Like Israel said, we have other sessions that we've done. They're also there. All the Q&A sessions and all the sessions on specific topics are also on the YouTube channel. So you can always check if there's something that interests you, or if there's something you're looking for, you can always go there and look. We had some sessions that were over an hour, a lot of information was given out.
Yeah.
Just make use of the resource because it's all there for you people. Because like today we've had Esther, she's talked about Maria Curie. We may not be able to schedule another session on Maria Curie in the near future. So it will be on YouTube for future reference. But if at any point we need to come back to the topic, we will try to make it available. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the link you put up is for the approved project site, like Esther said, so that you don't need to, I think, find your way navigating through the whole site to find the projects. So it's there in the chat, this link on the screen. You can go there. I think from time to time, check if new projects have been uploaded, if there's any project that interests you. And like Esther said, don't just look at the title of the project. Try to look into the specifications, the details of the project and what it entails so that you get to understand exactly what the content of the project and the specifics of the role that's being advertised are. Yeah. So I guess at this point we have run out of the questions in the chat. I'm
So
happy that I'm happy that our LinkedIn audience, their comments came through on the general chats today. It was easy to visibly see them. Once in a while, technology decides to show itself, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we'll keep on trying to improve the experience as we go along. Yeah, Joe, you wanted to say something?
yeah, I want to ask Esther a question, but before oh hi.
Yeah, sorry, my baby is here.
That's fine. No, we are real people, so of course you have a baby, so it's fine. We're real people. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So we'll try to be as informal and as comfortable as possible. So it's just like a chat, so it's fine. I just want to say, I think this is the highest time we've had a like number on LinkedIn than YouTube. Number is always large on YouTube and Facebook, and we have good numbers on LinkedIn. So it's like people really want to know about this Maracoli Fellowship, which is good. It's quite encouraging. Yeah, I'm really just like they don't want to say hi, but they're loud, but it's fine, no problem. It's all good. So I want to I'm asking this question to Esther for two purposes. Number one is to as a way for you to encourage others and also for us to know what you did. So you said when you did the interview, you did not make it or you were rejected on something. So how did you manage that rejection? Because a lot of people cannot even manage once they're rejected, they're up. It's forever. They don't move on anymore. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. How I wouldn't say that particular incident was what helped me manage rejection. So before I applied for my PhD, when I was applying for my masters, I applied for master scholarship between 2016 to 2019. So I've applied to over 40 scholarships. So I'm already used to rejection. So rejection was not when I get the love letter, I just say, okay, next one, and then I just move on. So I think that already prepared me already for any future rejection. And then when I got this rejection, what I did was to ask myself why was I rejected? What do I think? So I tried to go through the questions that were asked and then see. So there was a particular question, I think skill set I did not have that would be very important for that position I was applying to in Germany, which is on it was on Excel, but there's this Excel add-in on Solver, using of Solver
Okay,
for,
yeah, I know solver.
yeah. So you will use it a lot. I don't have that expertise, so I'm just basic Excel person. So so I think that was part of it. And then modeling. I don't have expertise in modeling and food engineering. So I already envisaged that. So when we started the project, like I said, the project in Germany, I also work with that person. So the project, the role I was rejected in, I also collaborated with that person. And now, so based on what that person have done, I know I would not have been able to cope, because the skill set required for that role is entirely something I'm not used to. So I would have struggled a bit, because I would have to learn all these skill set before I'm able to apply them into my PhD position. So that was just it. So when I got this position was more suited for my qualification and my educational experience.
Okay, I think that's it's wonderful. You know, it's wonderful to share these kind of stories sometimes so that people understand that
It's not only them
it's
that are getting rejection.
exactly, you know, is a real part of the experience. You know,
Yes.
I always tell people you have to be prepared to accept rejections when you are applying for something that you want,
Yeah.
because you will not always be a good fit for everything you apply for, if we are being honest. And it's not a reflection of your person. So I tell people not to take it personally. They're
Yeah.
not trying to attack you. It's just that you didn't fit that opportunity. But there's always an opportunity that will fit you if you keep looking and if you keep applying. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone like you that did the 2016 to 2019, I'm sure you've gotten you got the
Reject.
whole litany of
Even
you know
Commonwealth, I was rejected. So Commonwealth share, Commonwealth General, Germany. I think I applied to almost every popularly known scholarship there is. Germany, I applied for like 3 times. I did not even get to interview. So
yeah. And but today you're here.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think that's just a testament to the fact that when you keep trying, and I'm sure that from the experiences of being rejected, you also pick things up and learn
exactly.
more that also help you in future applications.
Yes.
So yeah, there are people that get these things on their first try, and that's very wonderful. You know, I mean that's everybody's dream, but it's not everybody's reality. So
Yeah.
you also need to take note of the fact that the first attempt is not your only chance. You can always make a second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. And I think sometimes also when you go along, you begin to see that your priorities also begin to change, and then you become open to other opportunities as well. So
Yeah.
it's never worth giving up. I think it's always worth trying, you know, moving, taking bold steps, moving to the next opportunity, and making the best out of whatever situation you find yourself in.
Yeah.
We'll always provide as much information as we can here, you know, of the ups and downs. So I think we had a session where we talked about people's experiences, how application was, how you manage the rejection, how you manage the stress and the pressure of application. We've had sessions on those type of things, and there are more conversations that will come. I know we had the other day we were discussing of to do a PhD, not to do a PhD, and different perspectives were being thrown into the mix and things you need to consider when you're thinking about doing postgraduate studies. All these things come into play as different factors, and it's always good for people to hear other people's stories and see their perspectives, add it together with their own perspectives, and try to form a rounded opinion so that you can see a big picture of the whole thing. Some people, when you see some opportunities, just like you rightly said now, you see Maria Curie, you might see a project and you see his food and you think it's only food that's there. Now you can see that other things come into play. So if I would repeat a mantra that Ejiro always uses, please read. Ejiro
Yeah.
always says, please read. So the links we've dropped the links in the chat. Go to the websites, explore, read. There will be things you will find out, new things you will discover There are also things that you see that you may not understand, which is perfectly fine. Which is why we also have the Q&A sessions on Sundays so that we can come back here and address people's questions on any topic whatsoever. And like Adrian said, if Esther is not here, and if it's a question that we cannot fully answer, we'll take the question away. We'll try to reach out to her, get a proper
Yeah,
answer, bring it back to the audience.
that's
Also, we
fine.
have this culture of allowing participants to connect with us on LinkedIn as usual.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. I need to
yeah,
chat up on it. Yeah.
yeah. So I think maybe that's why we have a large audience on LinkedIn now. So usually, like I said, you can always just search for our names on LinkedIn and send a connection request. If you have a question, you can send a message, but please don't go into the message box and just type hi. If you want, you can just do a brief introduction, put your question in the chat so that we know. Hi, I'm so person. I attended this session the other day. You talked about this. I went to the website. I saw this. I'm also sure about this. Can you provide some clarity?
Yeah.
And we will try to respond as soon as we can. Or if you want to come and join the community on the WhatsApp group chat, we can also add you there because the opportunities are also being shared there on daily basis. So yeah, so that's Esther on LinkedIn. Myself and Ejira are common faces here, so most of you might already know us, and if you don't, you could just search for our names on LinkedIn as well. Ejiro, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I just have a question that I just got inspired by just looking at Esther now. So first of all, I want to say Esther, thank you. I know that currently you're with your baby and it's a bit inconveniencing, but you're still here with us. So thank you. But if you really need to turn off your camera, please you can do that if you are not comfortable. But if you are, that's fine.
No
So
problem.
thank you. So this question is just based on what I'm just seeing now because people keep saying now this question is for people that want to apply for PhD and people that are doing a PhD. Yeah, so I want to answer it from two dimensions. People feel that you will not understand. Things are not easy. Things are hard or it's difficult. But looking at you now, you're a wife and a mother, and you're doing the PhD. So can you just tell us, yeah, because you are here speaking to us, helping us, and your baby is calling for your attention, and you're doing both. So I just want you to just kind of like tell just you might not be specific, but just people that have to juggle between school, work, family. So either before applying or during the schooling when they want the scholarship, how difficult it is, how be real with them, how difficult it is, and what advice has helped you so far, or what advice you think they should need to help them prepare. Yeah, I think that would
Okay.
be my last question.
Okay. So, using myself as a case study, I just had my baby like 3 months ago, and I didn't start the PhD even married. So I started as a single person. So
Mhm.
and then I started the PhD, and then I think I didn't want to even have a baby during the PhD because I know PhD is stressful on its own. It's very, very stressful.
But the
But
baby came.
circumstances, eh? You said?
But the baby came. The
Yes.
baby wants to have you.
Yeah. But so circumstances, the baby came. I got married, and I got married the same year I started the PhD. Then the baby came. I think for me, I think you the motivating factor is that people have done it.
Mm.
So if people have done it, I can do it. I also have like two friends also who gave birth during their PhD. We are all doing our PhD now. So in the UK, these people are in the UK. So the motivating factor for me is just to say people have done it, I can also do it. But it's a lot of work. I wouldn't shy away from that. It is a lot of work because a PhD is like a baby too. Your child, like you have two children, that's just what I say. You have two children that needs your attention, so you have to up your time management skill, project management skill. You have to do things, you cut out a lot of distractions. So I cannot be on TikTok or YouTube as much as I used to be when I was single. So I have to cut all that and make sure I have time for other things and still be a wife, mother, and all of that. It's not easy, but it is doable. That's just what I don't want to sugarcoat it and say, oh, do it. Yeah, it is not easy. Yeah, but it is doable.
Okay. I think Bichi, I think thank you so much. Bichi, over to you.
Yeah, so I think we've gone over the hour, and so we'll be rounding up now. I just want to say thank you to Esther for being here, sharing her experience, sharing all the information, and giving our audience a real look of what the scholarship and the opportunity is, how to go about it, and using herself as a case study on many occasions, because it's not quite easy to always come and say, yeah, so the banner, it's not easy, but it's good.
That's
Ejiro,
our second for
Ejiro,
today.
Ejiro, Ejiro, you're a PhD student. When you do this type of thing, you have to cite the source. So
Oh,
if you,
sorry. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry. uh, Esther 2024.
yeah, yeah, so that
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
so that people know that we're in the spirit of scholars here. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so like I was saying,
Oh no,
it's
no,
it's
it's better.
yes, now we're there. Good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that people know that it's Esther that has given us this new mantra. I think we'll be using it taking forward. Just want to take permission from Esther to use it taking
Oh,
going forward.
are we allowed?
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say thank you to the audience for interacting with the session. Your questions were very, very good, specific, and you did some very interesting conversation. We're happy to have you, and we're always welcome to having you for more sessions to come. Like Idra said, we have more upcoming sessions, so we also have the informal Q&A tomorrow. So if you take time to go through some of the information that we've given out today and you have follow-up questions, you can always bring them to future sessions, and then we can always try to take them forward. So at this point, I just want to say, I want the speakers, if you have any parting words to the audience, let Esther go first. If you want to say,
Okay.
just say, yeah, say goodbye to
Yeah.
the audience.
For the Marie Curie Fellowship, I just want to also add that it's not just, it has a PhD part and also postdoctoral part. So if you're interested in the postdoc, it's it's also something people that are doing their PhDs can apply for. For me, for those that are looking for scholarship, what I would just say is keep applying, and just know that no matter the rejection number of rejection you have, it's you should still apply, because I know how it felt. I know how it feels, and I've been there. And the scholarship I finally got was something that I never thought I would have gotten. So keep applying and keep the hope alive. So you just need one yes in the thousands of no's that you've received.
Yeah, thank you so much for those words. It's always that one yes that always changes the narrative.
Yes.
It's always that one yes. Yeah, so Ezra, parting words.
I just want to say that to applicants for today and people that are going to watch it, take advantage of this platform. We're not just here to speak to ourselves. We're here to be useful, like we're like an open resource. So we give you information about what is happening, give you information about scholarship that you are not aware of, and also try to provide steps. So please let's take advantage of these sections. Though it's free, but these are valuable. So please let's take, if we can be here to give our time, the least you can do is to take advantage of it. And also feel free to share it to your friends so let them know, because most times our problem is access to information. And when we have that access, we don't even know how to even use it. So that you're trying to bridge that gap by bringing in speakers. And if you feel that there are other scholarship you want us to help you with, you can let us know, and we can look for speakers to come and help you soften the landing. So thank you so much. Thank you, Esther, and thank you to our baby for being here with us too. Okay.
So you can reach me on LinkedIn if you have any question on the Marie Curie Fellowship. I would answer your question. Yeah, once I see your messages.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Ejiro, for those words to the audience. So as Ejiro rightly said, if you have any scholarship that you're looking for. Maybe you're like Esther here that has been applying for different opportunities and been getting rejections, and you want us to simplify the process for you. There's this particular scholarship that you're after, and you want us to find a speaker that's going to work on it. You can always reach out to us. Let us know that this particular scholarship you've attempted it once. You were not really sure of how the application process went. You got rejected or something like that, and you are looking at applying again. Can we provide a session on that? And then we'll try to look into our resource library and try to make something possible. So that's that.
Esther, I'm a fan.
Gloria, Gloria is one of our regulars.
Esther, you're a
So
fan.
Esther, Gloria is saying thank you for the real life experience. If you can, I can. So
All
you've
this
inspired,
new, I
New
did not
news.
quote.
you've inspired someone. Yeah, Gloria has been following us frequently. She
Yeah,
usually comes to most of the sessions, and she always
thank
comes with
you.
very
Yeah.
insightful questions. So I'm happy that she has gotten some motivation from me because I remember one time I think one of her questions was she was getting a little bit demoralized. So it's good that she
Yeah,
So it's good that she has come to this session and she has seen that it's possible. Yeah.
yeah.
So
When we have badge, we might get the badge to Gloria as one of the my one fan,
yeah, yeah,
the people's host, Buchi.
yeah. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And yeah, so thank you to our audience. We appreciate that the time difference makes it difficult for people to join at different times, but we are always here, and that's why we always try to make the recordings available. So yeah, so at this point, we're going to call it a night. So I'm going to say good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from and when you're listening to this recording. But it was a pleasure to have this discussion, and I thank Esther and Edro. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something else. When you said good morning, I just want to say we had people from Pakistan, we had people from Australia, we had people from Italy, and we had people from Africa. So I want to say thank you. So I can imagine the time difference. So thank you for joining, and we hope you found this very beneficial. Thank you. Keep the kiss.
So I also thank you to the speakers as well, especially
Mm,
Esther, who has taken out her time
yeah.
and added this session to the many responsibilities she's juggling at the moment. So we appreciate the efforts, and we're always happy to have you whenever you have the time to be with us. Yeah. So on that note, I'll say have an amazing weekend to everyone. Uh, Join us more sessions for as much as you can. We will always be here, and if you have any suggestions, questions, contributions, comments, or testimonials that you want to share, you can always reach out to us, and we'll make and try to facilitate that and make that possible. So on this note, I'll say
Thank
have
you.
a nice day, and thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.